And we're going to move on to our next topic. This past week, I believe it was Thursday, there was a dog abuse case in Ashland, Mass. At a kennel. It was a worker. The owners of the kennel had just bought it maybe a month ago. They were new owners. They were kind owners. They didn't lay any of the former crew that they adopted at this kennel off. They wanted everybody to maintain their jobs. We're going to be talking to them in a few moments. They discovered that one of those employees had abused a dog. They immediately called the police, got law enforcement, had the abuser arrested, as well as informed the owner of all the details and did everything right. What is wrong with people? What is wrong with the world? We are Massachusetts. We are probably one of the most pet-loving states in the nation. Certainly, we do not tolerate animal abuse. No. And this past week, over at Camp Canine in Ashland, brand new owners, Bill Craig and Kimberly Cardiff, had to deal with somebody that abused one of their dogs. And we've got Bill on the phone line right now from Camp Canine. Bill, you there with us?
I'm here, and Kim's here also.
Oh, good. Kim, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, great. We have both of you online. You know, I read the story this week and was absolutely horrified. And at the same time, I was really impressed with how quickly you responded to having the abuser apprehended and taking care of business and basically being very transparent about what happened over at Camp Canine. Tell us about what this was all about for folks just tuning in and what you went through.
Basically, it was a horrible situation. I had come into my business early in the morning, and I knew something was off. You know, we purchased the business about 4 weeks ago. We inherited all the employees and kept them on based on recommendation of the owner and the manager, the management then. And everybody loved everybody there. I mean, that's been working. I mean, they loved all of the employees. So I had gone in and I found that one of my employees was there prior to me. He was already in the building, and I knew something was off. His behavior was off. He was angry, and I saw that the dogs were off as well. So I knew something just didn't sit right with me. Usually when you walk in, the dogs are all excited. They're ready to go out. They're jumping, barking, ready to play. And it was dead silent.
Man, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
That gut feeling.
Yeah, especially when you know your dogs.
Yes. And, you know, animals can't speak, and so you kind of have to be in tune with people and animals. And I knew something wasn't right. And the employee had said to me that one of the dogs, that he couldn't stand him, he hated him, he tried to attack him, he went at his throat. And I said, did he bite you? And he said, no, but if he did, you know, I'd have to do something to him. I said, oh, goodness. And I walked into the room where all the dogs were boarding, and it was just dead silent. They all looked at me. And the one dog, particular dog that he was talking about, Dexter, was cowering down in his den. And I said, this isn't good. I ended up taking the dog outside and just checking him over, just seeing how he was, and I was throwing the ball, and he was playing. You know, he's puppy self. You know, he's a year old and jumping around, and he wants to play. And he came back with the ball, and I saw that there was a little bit of blood on the ball. And that led me to feel like, all right, something happened here.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank God you got it on camera.
And you got everything on camera, but didn't he hide in some areas where the camera couldn't cover his abuse?
Yeah, he did.
That are kind of blind spots, unfortunately, and you know, I don't know if he was cognizant of what was, you know, his areas or not. I honestly, I think that he probably thought the same thing we did, was that the video basically went from 7 to 7. Which is, you know, if you log onto the website, our website, the parents of the dogs can log in and check out their dogs throughout the course of the day. And we're kind of under the understanding or the belief maybe that he probably thought the same thing and didn't realize that it was actually 24-hour video coverage. So
yeah, it was just deliberate almost. Now, you guys took action immediately once you must have been, watching those videos must have been excruciating, and you took immediate action. Tell us what you did as soon as you realized this.
Well, seeing the video itself was horrific. I was crying, and my husband was extremely disturbed from it, and not much disturbs him. I said, we need to do something about this. I can't let this person go on and go to any other place and hurt another animal like this. I mean, there's no way. So we called a friend of mine in the Framingham Police Department, and he said that he would send over the Ashland Police in the morning to check the video footage and get our statement, which is what they did. And when they saw it, they were actually horrified.
It's awful.
They took action, and, he was supposed to be on a shift that afternoon the next day, and they intercepted and arrested him then.
Good, great. And he also got out on $1,000 bail, didn't he? Unbelievable. A lot of people were kind of outraged by that it was only $1,000 bail. This is like violent behavior.
Right.
He abused somebody's dog.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, from what I understand through the laws of Massachusetts, I think that they're cracking down a lot, and he'll probably end up having to pay a lot higher fines and either have jail time or something else. I mean, he has a pretrial coming up in a month, from what I understand, so that's when they'll dictate what's going on.
Did you know that, or were you aware that he had Asperger's syndrome when you took him on as an employee? And do you think the law will be on his side a little more because of it?
When we took him over, or when we took over the employees, we knew that he might have been a little off, but not, we didn't ask, we didn't want to do anything that might infringe on his personal
his rights.
Space or whatever, just based on the fact that he had come with such high recommendation.
And all the clients loved him.
Yeah, the clients loved him. The other staff always spoke highly of him. So, it wasn't even a concern of ours. He had come with such high recommendation that we didn't even think about it.
I think Kathy asked that question because that is what is it this case where his defense lawyer wants to use that as they're using it as a defense and ADHD, which is outrageous.
It is outrageous.
It's an insult to folks that have both ADHD and Asperger's syndrome because they don't do this to animals. They don't abuse.
No.
It has nothing to do with it.
No.
You have to wonder if he's on medication.
He's clearly capable of, he graduated high school, he can drive, he has his driver's license, he can drive, he can hold down a job, he pays bills. He's clearly capable of many things. I don't know,
The law typically doesn't favor that anyway.
Yeah.
Anna Maria has a question for you.
Well, it's not a question. A comment, I guess. I just want to clarify who we're talking about. We keep saying he, and I think this person... I'm looking at, is it Michael Edison? Is that his name? He's 23 years old?
Yes, that's the employee.
I just wanted to bring that up front, who exactly we are talking about.
That's right. Sorry about that. We should have mentioned
23
his name.
years old of Marlboro.
Yeah, that's the...
I just wanted to broadcast his name, actually.
Now, how did the...
I think it's okay. It's been in all the papers.
I know.
Exactly. I know. And wanted to know, Bill and Kimberly, how did the owners react to this? Did they understand that this wasn't something that any of you would have known could have happened? The owners of the dog.
I called them and explained the situation. I explained the situation to her. I was all broken up. I called her crying hysterically, and she was calm about it. But I think only because she hadn't seen the video, and she's like, sometimes Dexter can be, he jumps around, and I said, no, there's a video, and he's going to be arrested. This is graphic. It's not what you could ever imagine happening to your dog. And I said, you need to take him to the vet, and the police want you to take him to the vet so that he can get a full examination and make sure there's no internal injuries, and so everything can be documented.
Has all of that been done? Has the dog been checked out? And
everything's come back, no, nothing. No injuries,
goodness.
Problems, God. He's in good shape.
Except for the trauma.
Except for his spirit, yeah.
Yeah, well, they had said that he was a little timid when he had come home at first, but then, we're fine. But, yeah. Wow. And with the other dogs, too, that were in there that witnessed it, it's kind of the same feeling that I got. When I walked in, it was just silent. We just all sat there, quiet. And when you watch the video footage, they're doing the same thing. You see them wagging their tails and then all of a sudden stopping. And it's very, very sad. It really is. It's just... my words don't do justice.
Yeah.
It really doesn't.
Oh, I almost feel like crying just thinking about those poor dogs that were traumatized through this. Not to mention, Dexter, but the other dogs, they see, they know. They're sentient beings. They get it.
And they're traumatized as well.
Exactly.
I'm just so thankful that you reacted as quickly as you did. I have a small dog, and when I heard about this story, I cried just thinking that it could happen to my little dog.
Yeah, and we have animals, and we're huge animal lovers. I've always rescued and taken care of animals my whole life, and I'm a big advocate against animal cruelty or abuse, and just, I don't stand for that.
I love your transparency, too. A lot of places, all of us have either dealt with rescue, or we've done rescue, we've worked with rescues, we volunteered. And one of the things that we've all witnessed because we've done that is when something goes wrong at a rescue or certain places, there's no transparency. It's not that they're bad places or they perpetrated any kind of harm on their animals, but they slide it under the rug. They bury it. I have to commend you, both of you, on getting this out in the open, not trying to sweep it under the rug. And that was a risk you took at Camp Canine, which is your kennel as new owners. Like, would people judge you? Would they blame you? Which, of course, somebody's got to kind of be not really on the ball if they did. But I want to commend you for your honesty in exposing this and making sure that this dog abuser is brought to justice.
I agree.
All of our clients, we're just getting to know them all and all the dogs, and everybody has been, they've been fantastic. They've been so supportive, and we're getting so many cards and emails and phone calls, and we're still coming, we'll still recommend you, and feel so safe in your place now, and it's been very nice, and it's a great feeling. I wanted to do the right thing.
Well, you should be very proud of yourselves. You did the right thing, and people will definitely stand behind that. And a lot to be said about modern technology today.
Yes, there is.
You cannot do what you thought you could do years ago.
There are cameras everywhere.
Mm-hmm. There are. That's really good.
It can work against us or for us.
Unless they work for us this time.
Absolutely.
So glad.
I know, and want to get your name out there because I think that you're great. And I was saying to Kimberly, I was talking to Bill a little earlier, and I said, I always stress out about, what are we going to do with the dogs? We usually bring them with us. And I've got to tell you that Camp Canine is on my radar now. I think that this might be the place.
Mine too.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about where folks can reach you. Do you have a web page or a number or anything like that where folks can send their dogs over to you? Because you sound like a wonderful, wonderful place for dogs. You do grooming, you do doggy daycare, and you do overnight.
Yeah, we do all of that. And we're starting some new stuff, and we got some ideas to kind of build it up a little bit. But we're on the web at campcaninedogspa.com, and our number at camp is 508-881-7364. We're taking this whole situation obviously very seriously, and we want to ensure to everybody that this is not something that's tolerated, and we want to provide the safest and happiest and best place for dogs in the area.
Mm-hmm. And we want to thank Kimberly Cardiff and Bill Craig. We want to thank you so much for joining us on tonight's show, as well as coming to the aid of a dog that needed you in a very timely manner, and letting the world know that dog abuse is not going to be tolerated.